So today's session is called Bidwell Training Center and Literacy Pittsburgh supporting literacy students. Um, Bidwell Training Center and Literacy Pittsburgh have been working together for about 2 years in partnership. And I will explain kind of what Bidwell Training Center is and where it is located. Today's agenda is what is Bidwell Training Center? We'll provide an overview of the Bidwell Training Center and Literacy Pittsburgh's partnership and how we work together, how the partnership supports the adult learners in their programs and classes, the different classes that Bidwell Training Center offers, who can participate, and how to connect students, the contact information you might need, and volunteer opportunities, and certainly any questions that you may have. Bidwell Training Center and Literacy Pittsburgh have partnered for about 2 years now. The purpose of the partnership is to give support through classes and tutoring opportunities to potential and current Bidwell students. Students that take the Bidwell assessment and need to improve scores can take Literacy Pittsburgh reading and/or math classes on site at the school. Enrolled students can be referred to Literacy Pittsburgh by Bidwell for support in subjects in their programs. And lastly, Literacy Pittsburgh students that have an interest in entering Bidwell are referred to myself, Leah Patterson. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about what Bidwell is. Let me advance this a little bit. There it is. So Bidwell Training Center is actually located on the north side of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and has been in existence for 50 years. It offers hands-on vocational training through a thriving educational environment, and the cost is free to students to participate. The programs that they offer at Bidwell Training Center include chemical laboratory technician, culinary arts, horticulture technology, medical assistant, medical coder/filler, and pharmacy technician. So as you can see, it's a handful of programs that they offer. Our role in working with Bidwell Training Center is to help the student that is trying to get into the classes, but has fallen short percentile-wise in meeting the assessment. So we offer the math and reading classes on site there to help support those students that are trying to get in. There are a small percentage of English as a second language students that have gone through the assessment and might need help or support. If in fact they need additional support in English speaking or writing skills, they can be referred to our downtown center location at Literacy Pittsburgh, which is 411 7th Street, downtown Pittsburgh. And I'm going to see if I'm going to pull up their website because it does give up additional information about what students can learn in these particular areas in careers. And hopefully if Curie is able to join us, she can kind of expand on that. The benefit to some of the Bidwell Training Center classes is it's a shorter period of time that they'll be receiving hands-on instruction. So I think the longest program out of the 6 or 7 listed is the chemical laboratory technician, which takes, I think, maybe about 13 months. But on average, all of the programs take roughly about a year to complete. And we've had a great success with the number of students that we have supported with the math and reading classes to help them get over that additional hump they need to get into their programs. One other aspect that we do also provide is if there are students that are currently or already in their programs but need additional support or help, we have provided tutors there at Bidwell Training Center. Right now, I think we've had a total of 5 or 6 tutors that have served at Bidwell Training Center and met with students one-on-one. And the benefit to the tutor is they really like those assignments because they're shorter assignments. Whereas if you're working with adult basic education students to pursue their GED, in some cases it may take a little bit longer. If you're working with a English as a second language student or ELL student, sometimes it may take them a little bit longer if their goal is to learn English in the beginning. These assignments usually focus around math and reading, and certainly you are always welcomed if those are your areas of expertise and you have time and are willing to help a student. I'm going to advance this just a little bit back to where I was. Let me see there. Excuse me. Me. The Bidwell classes, I was going to kind of explain how they're structured, what the class entails in case there are students that are interested. They're designed to focus on the math and reading skills again, and to improve the skills in those areas. Classes are structured to provide exercises as well as practice tests, and some activity and exercise on what is called Khan Academy, for students to be able to participate and practice what it is that the instructor has gone over in any of those areas. The instructor that we have on site from Literacy Pittsburgh, her name is Tara Teets, and she teaches both the math and reading classes. Currently, math and reading classes held on Tuesdays from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So they're both once a week, and math class is held on Thursdays from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. We have since provided an online option for students that are not able to participate, maybe with that have transportation barriers. They can attend class online, and Ms. Teets, the instructor, will go over the information with the students as to what type of technology they may need, what information they may need to be able to participate. The classes at Bidwell that Literacy Pittsburgh offer are small in size. And that's because we're really giving the students our time and attention because we want to see them achieve their goal and get into their prospective programs. So the class sizes range between 8 and 10. Ideally for us, because it is so hands-on, we like to see about 8 students in class. The current structure of the class is open enrollment, which means as soon as a student falls short of the assessment test, they are referred to us um, from Bidwell, and I immediately call them to explain the class and its purpose, and then to proceed to enroll them in intake. Open enrollment, they are then able to start the class immediately. We are currently working out a new structure for the class, however, which might mean that the students potentially could be in a 8-week cohort with other students. Benefits to that are the students get to learn from each other as well as their instructor. Shorter period for those that actually can benefit from less than 8 weeks to be able to proceed forward. The next cohort of classes at Bidwell Training Center actually start the month of April. So there's a group of students currently that are going through the classes in preparation to test again in hopes that they can get into the next cohort of classes at Bidwell Training Center. Any questions or anything so far?
Yes, I have a question. You mentioned there's an assessment with regard to ability to participate in the classes and that it's free. Is there a criteria in terms of people's finances?
No, the Bidwell Training Center classes actually are for free because they receive state funding to offer it. It's very similar to Literacy Pittsburgh. And that is a great question that you ask. So we receive state and federal funds as well to offer adult educations for free. There are some criteria, however, to enter into Bidwell, and I'll kind of go over that a little bit as we move through a few of the slides. So who are the students that participate in some of the Bidwell Training Center classes? They are very similar to the adult learners that we actually service here at Literacy Pittsburgh. Adult basic education, students that are 16 years of age or older on the Literacy Pittsburgh side. So that we service students that are a little bit younger than Bidwell Training Center. And that's because we offer GED classes and tutors that work with the students one-on-one. Students come from diverse backgrounds, education, and experiences. They're all ages. I've seen a huge tick in the last 2 years that I've been at a Bidwell Training Center with people leaving one career and transitioning into another. And I mean, they are all ages. I recently spoke to a gentleman that has retired from the military and he is interested in culinary. So he's pursuing his lifelong dream of going to culinary arts school at Bidwell Training Center. ESL students that have come here to the United States, they may have post-secondary degrees from the countries that they come, or looking for training here in a particular career, oftentimes to work. We do offer additional support or help if it's needed, if they need to improve English speaking or reading skills. On the Bidwell training side, they do require that an individual have a high school diploma. And Carrie, who was probably unable to make it, I think, on our call today, there is paperwork that English as a second language students can provide in order that's comparable to the high school diploma for them to participate in Bidwell Training Center classes. They also, like I said, on Bidwell Training Center side, they come from diverse backgrounds. You have retirees, you have people transitioning into careers, you have people entering into the workforce for the first time. So the profiles of the adult learner on both sides mirror each other. And I think that's why the partnership is a good fit. I'm sure many of you may know people that have attended four-year colleges in pursuit of education. And it's challenging because many people have gone into debt trying to do so. So one of the things that people like about the opportunity is the fact that they can attend and pursue their particular career of interest for free. I just wanted to go over this because I think it's really important for a tutor in how they connect with the information. So the expectation of our tutors is not that they're taking the lead and sending paperwork into Literacy Pittsburgh or program coordinators. You all have enough on your plate in the many ways that you are supporting students. Typically, how information is circulated is either the student themselves will reach out to the program coordinator because maybe they're looking for a job or interested in attending school or career training. From there, your area program coordinator will put in a referral to our career counselor and into our workforce development department. Well, they'll contact the student directly and begin to talk with them about where they need help and support. Do they need help with filling out job applications? Do they need um, support in composing a resume in which they plan to circulate? Or is it in the actual job hunt? As you can see, Bidwell Training Center is limited on the types of programs that they have, but with us working together, we can cover all grounds on which we can help support a student. So if their career interest does not fall in the program areas in which Bidwell Training Center offers, and that's something that they're not necessarily interested in, we still will help work with those students via the tutor contacting us, or if it's the students themselves contacting the program coordinator directly. Are there any other questions or anything that you all need clarity on? Or I'm going to bring up the particular areas and talk a little bit about um, the programs and what types of things students can expect to study. And let me just share that. Okay. And I didn't copy it from the website because I thought it was a little bit more beneficial because it provided adequate information. So the chemical laboratory technician, in which we have had students that needed support with the math component. We had a student that recently graduated, I think in the month of September, got help through the Literacy Pittsburgh classes and was able to get on the right and pursue his goal in graduating from chemistry lab technician. Chemistry lab, their program teaches techniques in research and development, instrument analysis and laboratory safety. I think the particular student that graduated, his goal was to focus on entering into the field of quality assurance with a company. Culinary arts. Culinary arts focuses on all aspects of culinary, meaning whether or not they want to specialize in particularly being a pastry chef versus pasta, or if they plan to enter on the side of management and understanding overall that particular industry and supporting it. Horticulture technology, they actually have a greenhouse, and it is we as Literacy Pittsburgh have worked with them in the past. So when we've had our fundraisers, they actually sell different arrangements. The greenhouse is absolutely wonderful. They sell different things. They work with other nonprofits as well as the culinary arts program. They actually cater. The culinary arts program on site actually cooks every day, and for the public as well as those that work at Bidwell Training Center, to offer everything in the cafeteria from desserts to the main entree. Medical assistant, I actually was in attendance. I assisted my dad with one of his appointments recently, and the medical assistants in his doctor's office came from Bidwell Training Center. Through the medical assistance program, they're learning the skill sets to support, the medical doctor in getting the general information from patients, health records, instruct patients, and obtain vital signs and patient history. So those are those people that you initially meet when you go to your medical appointment. Medical coder and medical biller, those are the people that have to have a familiarity in the different coding associated with medication, as well as I can't even think of the name. It lost me. I had was going to apply a term and couldn't think of it. But they support the physician practices, healthcare care facilities to get reimbursements from insurance companies while correctly processing healthcare information and claims. And that seems to be the most popular program there seems to be culinary arts with a quick support through medical assistance and then the medical coding and biller. Those are the students that we see that come through the program and may need support. A lot of times it seems to be with math. Sometimes you do have students that come to us and need a little bit of support with reading. Let's see if I forgot anything. And pharmacy technician would be our last one, where students are helping to collect, organize, and evaluate information for direct patient care, medication use review, and departmental management. So those are some of the skill sets that they can learn through their studies there at Bidwell. And again, I think the longest program there is laboratory technician. Most of them are roughly about a year long. And I'm going to go back to my slide. Most of the tutors, again, we've had about 5 or 6. They have 100% success rate there at Bidwell Training Center. The way that I connect with identifying tutors is usually I'll reach out among all of your area program coordinators to see if there is someone of interest, whether or not they concentrate maybe in math and or reading. Or we've had professionals that actually worked in some of these fields and were willing to work alongside some of the students. There was one of the tutors that was in the field closest to laboratory technician, and we had 2 or 3 students that needed help or math support, and he met with the students virtually to help them with some of the questions that they had in going through their studies there. Most of the tutors that have come on site have helped with math. We've had students from the horticulture program where we helped them with math. Some of the students in culinary arts. A lot of times the student may need help or support with math in particular in those fields because it's not a heavy concentration in it. But for example, with culinary arts, they may need to know conversion. So a lot of times it's, how to cut a recipe, how to double a recipe. And if they don't have the strength in fractions, decimals, that's where they might need help or support. So that's where the tutor has been effective in providing that information in the way of exercises and practices with students. And we've had tutors help the students at Bidwell, both virtual and in person. Many find they like coming to Bidwell. It's free parking. And, so you're away from the hustle and bustle of the, downtown locations. And the students appreciate having the one-on-one time. We've even had tutors that have been in other cities that help Literacy Pittsburgh students that have worked with Bidwell students virtually as well. The flip side is the way that the partnership also works is sometimes you have a student that will enter Literacy Pittsburgh. They may have a goal of obtaining their GED, but then also want additional support in entering into a career and entertaining career exploration and what their options are. And if their interests lie within maybe one of the programs that Bidwell has, then usually they're referred to me and I will connect them with our contacts there at Bidwell Training Center, for them to either go on a tour where that's the role of Carrie Jacobus, who is our senior admissions representative and who we work with. And if they, have further interest, will then make arrangements to take the assessment. The assessment is conducted every Wednesday for students. Um, they have up to 4 times to take the test again. So that's kind of where we come into play, because we want to prepare them if they're going through our classes to be able to take it again and to be successful in entering into the program. Some students, deem that they want to take it maybe a little bit earlier than our recommendation. I always talk to the students about, certainly that is something that they can decide. But typically what happens is I'm in communications with the instructor about how they're performing, how are they doing on their practice test? Have they been completing their assignments, and how are they doing on their assignments? And working collectively with that instructor to determine when we think that they are ready. As far as the students' levels and where they come in, they do range anywhere from beginner level to intermediate level. And in that case, we're working to sort of restructure whether or not it makes sense to break down the class even further, to place those that might need more time and more attention in the beginner level classes to get them ready to pursue their goals. The other ways that people can connect, I've had tutors as well as students contact me directly. So I do provide my information towards the end of the slide there. If you know maybe of your student and whether or not they might be interested in pursuit of a career at Bidwell, or either just need help or support in general. I think Literacy Pittsburgh has worked very hard, particularly over the last year, to focus in on the needs of our students around career and education, entering post-secondary vocational training in schools. And we're committed to continuing to do that, as the time has changed and people's needs change. So I know that February is our large testing season for many of our students to update their tests. For some, start to take their post test. I know myself as well as other program coordinators utilize that opportunity to kind of say, hey, are there any new goals that you have? And usually it's through those conversations we learn that, a student says, I really need a job, or I'm looking to make a transition in a job. And tutors have been instrumental in providing that information too, sometimes because you all have the rapport and you have been working with them for some times. It's through those conversations that we learn, an additional need that a student has. I did not, in my slide, I didn't include all of your area program coordinators information, but certainly if you have a need at the end, because you're unsure, or maybe there was a change with your program coordinator and you need to connect with them, just let me know and I'll be happy to reach that person on behalf so that they can connect with you about any questions you have, or if you have a student that has some goals around career need. And I think here, I'm just going to put my information up. My physical office is actually located at Bidwell Training Center. So my role, in addition to kind of the traditional program coordinator role in connecting students that inquire on their own about maybe getting a tutor to help them with their goal or either a class, is to do the coordination for students that need to get into math or reading class or both. They're at Bidwell Training Center. So I'm available by phone, also by email. I check all of it every day. And I'm very responsive. So if you ever need to reach me, you certainly can. I just want to, this is, very informal. So if anyone has any questions about Bidwell or any other information that they may need around our career opportunities or workforce development, I'd be happy to try to answer some of those for you.
I have a question.
Hi, Linda.
Hi. As you're talking and I'm thinking about the Bidwell Training Center and where is it, I hopped on Google Maps
Mhm.
and I'm a little interested in what is the connection between the Manchester Craftsmen's Guild, which I have been to classes in photography there,
Mhm.
and I've had a tour of the building, and I feel like I may have seen the culinary department and so forth. So what is the association there?
That's a good question. I think they're all umbrella under the same house. So in addition to the and I think it has to do with how they were founded too. But they do, you are talking about the correct place. They
Uh-huh.
do offer arts performances. That very much is a part of the Manchester Bidwell experience, because I think the name even now reflects that as well as Manchester Bidwell or something when you look on their
Oh,
card.
oh, I
Yeah, so
see.
they are directly related. They do even offer programs. I've seen summer camps where the students are still learning photography and art.
Yes,
So they
and
have
I've
an
been to,
expansion on that piece as well, from what we're talking about, today, the adult
mhm,
education programs.
very interesting.
Good place. I actually went there for a really nice concert there many years ago. So they have great space, meeting places, but this huge auditorium where you can still participate in things like photography and art. And when you go
Yes,
into the building where
I,
they where the classes are to the right, they still have pottery and all kinds of things displayed.
uh-huh. Well, I did attend a very excellent jazz concert, and it was Wynton Marsalis's father and brother playing in a trio. It was
Right.
fabulous.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda. Any other questions? Well, I will just put up the information for Bidwell. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about their programs, for you, for someone you know, you can. They have a wonderful website where they give great descriptions about the programs that they have. And to Linda's point, I think they might even include some of the additional things that she spoke of, the photography, um, pottery. And I've seen the summer camps, high school and middle school students. So I know that they have partnerships and do great programs for that population as well. If you need to contact Bidwell Training Center, this probably will direct you to student services just for any questions you may have with them. You can call 412-402-9761. And again, the expectation of today is just to kind of share, you know, how we partner with other organizations to kind of help support the students, with no expectation that tutors really, weigh in and do all of this work around career. But if it comes up, which a lot of my tutors sometimes will just email me, so and so says they're looking for a job, I usually reach out to the student and do my follow up with them to make sure that they're connected with the career counselors internally. Um, or if it's Bidwell, to contact the appropriate people there. Um, let's see if there's anybody else. So I didn't include everybody's names again because it kind of gets a little, confusing or whatever, and putting up all the area program coordinators. names and things. But again, for whatever reason, if you don't know who your coordinator is, you can always contact me, or you can reach Literacy Pittsburgh, and we'll be certain to let you know of that information. And I will put my information up just again. And as usual, we're on all of the social media outlets. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube if you need to access any information as far as future tutor talks, information that you're looking for. And by all means, if you need anything, you could always reach out to us, the coordinators. If there are no other questions, I will restore some time in your schedule today. I certainly want to thank you all for your participation today. I hope you found it useful and valuable, that, you see that we're really kind of supporting the students in all facets. One thing I did want to also include is this has happened most recently, I think within the week. If you have students that have other needs outside of education, I'm talking about basic needs, food, clothing, health, you can also let us know, and we will put in a referral to connect with Isaac or either our service coordinator internally, so that we can help that student with those particular needs. Jeff, I see you're unmuted. Did you have any questions?
No, I just want to thank you. It was very interesting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I appreciate your attendance, everyone, today. I see we have some people joining us where I couldn't catch their name, so we do kind of keep track of attendance. I see Linda, Jeff, Terry. I didn't see your last name. Thanks for joining us today. Is there any way we can get everybody's last name, and I will make sure that I record your attendance? Jeff, your last name?
Straight, just like a straight line.
Okay. And Terry, are you able to provide your last name to us? She may not be able to participate. All right. Well, that's okay. Thank you all. Thank you all again. And I hope you found the information. Oh, I see something in the chat there. Hold on, let me check there.
That's
I got you, Terry. Thank you.
and I just wanted to say thank you very much, Leah, also. And I can see where it's really helpful to just understand the options here and to know where to send people for the specifics. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Linda. I often share my personal story. I went to a 4-year institution, and I'm proud of the education I received, but I was a person that went in debt, doing so. Not in debt anymore, thank goodness. But had I had known about other options, maybe those are some things I would have taken into consideration or exercised if it was information that I had presented to me. So hey, it's always important from that perspective as well. Thank you all again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need any help or support.
Will do.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care.